10 things you need to know before buying Pixel 6a. The Pixel 6a is now available to buy and looks to be an intriguing option for those seeking a mid-range phone with some flagship features. However, if you're one of the people considering getting a Pixel 6a, then there are a few things you need to know before you buy it. But before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and then comment "subscribed" so I can give you a personal shout out in a future video. Hello Technophiles, welcome to Tenzi's Tech. I'm Scott Leffler, and this is our list of the 10 things you need to know about the Pixel 6a before buying. Number 10. Price. After the incredible sales from the 6 and 6 Pro, it's great to see Google continue their tradition of releasing a budget-friendly device. Google managed to get the price of the phone down to $450, which puts it at the same price as the Galaxy A53 and $150 less than both the Pixel 6 and Galaxy S20 FE, the latter of which came out a year and a half ago. This price point moves the Pixel out of the flagship division where quality and premium features rule and moves it into the budget-conscious mid-range division where value on the dollar matters above all else. So the question is, does the 6a offer enough value to make it a good buy? Number 9. Size. At 6.1 inches, the Pixel 6a is a small phone. This is noticeably smaller than the Pixel 6 at 6.4 inches and both the Galaxy S20 FE and A53 each at 6.5 inches. In fact, Samsung doesn't currently make a 6.1-inch phone in their A series, which makes this one of the smallest phones for our American subscribers to pick up at a brick-and-mortar store like Best Buy. In a recent video about the Galaxy A73, I mentioned how large phones come with big price tags. Well, small phones tend to have the opposite problem of being cheap but lacking in features. Their smaller size does result in a few small drawbacks, which we'll discuss later, but nothing so major to make it definitely worse. In fact, one benefit of the smaller size is a slightly higher pixel density. Since it has the same resolution as comparable phones at 1080 by 2400, they need to be packed in a smaller area. So if you like small phones, the Pixel 6a is a great option. Number 8. Internal specs. Thankfully, the internal specs of the Pixel 6a is one area where Google hasn't compromised. With an octa-core processor and the powerful Tensor chipset, the processing power of the 6a is impressive, to say the least. Other manufacturers like Samsung typically use mid-range chips in their mid-range phones, so getting a flagship chip in a mid-range phone is a huge win for the 6a. The RAM runs at 6 GB, which is slightly lower than the expected 8 GB that other devices at this price point offer. And even though the internal memory stands at a whopping 128 GB, the lack of expandable memory is a bit disappointing, though not unsurprising. The 6a also includes a Titan M2 chip for added security, and Google promises to deliver security firmware updates for the next 5 years. Overall, the internals really stand out as being one of the biggest advantages to getting the Pixel 6a. Number 7. Connectivity. The Pixel 6a, of course, is 5G compatible, but this really isn't much of a surprise. However, what is surprising is the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity standards. Without getting too deep in the weeds, the 6a features Bluetooth 5.2, which among other things has audio codecs for high-fidelity audio, giving a much better listening experience. It also features Wi-Fi 6E, which is the latest standard, giving you much faster speeds and lower latency on Wi-Fi, as well as other benefits that go beyond the scope of this video. This is a solid advantage over the Galaxy A53, which only features Bluetooth 5.1 and Wi-Fi 5, meaning no hi-fi audio. Even the Galaxy S22, retailing for $800, lacks Wi-Fi 6E, so it's very impressive for Google to include this at the 6a, and they easily take the W in this area. Number 6. Camera. The 6a has 2 rear cameras, a standard and an ultra-wide. The main and ultra-wide lens are 12.2 and 12 megapixels respectively, with the front-facing camera coming in at a mere 8 megapixels. Just based on the spec sheet, this is very unimpressive. The Galaxy A53 has a 64 megapixel main camera and a 32 megapixel selfie camera, so it will be easy to give the L to the 6a here. However, more megapixels doesn't mean better pictures. Internal image processing is much more important, and the Pixels have a reputation for top-tier image processing, which holds true with the 6a. Even with the older hardware, the 6a takes great photos. Some users may prefer the look of the images from the A53 more, but this is all down to personal preference. Additionally, when it comes to video, the 6a has a few tricks that give it the win. The 6a can record 4K video at 30 and 60 frames per second, and up to 240 frames per second at 1080p. The A53, on the other hand, maxes out at 30 frames per second in both 4K and 1080p. So if you like to shoot slow-mo video, the 6a has you covered. Altogether, this is another area where the 6a takes the win, even by a thin margin. Number 5. Design. The Pixel 6a will retain an almost identical design to its more expensive counterparts and has 3 color options to choose from: charcoal, chalk, and sage. The phone's frame is made from recycled aluminum, and it's great to see Google becoming just a little more environmentally conscious with this choice. An upgrade from the 5a is that this phone won't have a fingerprint scanner at the back, and it will instead have an optical scanner built into the screen. Unfortunately, once consumers received the device shortly after launch, there were reports of issues with the fingerprint scanner. These are the same issues with the fingerprint scanners reported with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. This is both surprising and disappointing, since prior to the launch, a leaked video from Google France indicated that this phone will finally fix these problems that have frustrated so many Pixel users. Hopefully, this is just a small early launch issue, easily fixed with an update or security patch, but our optimism on this topic is wearing thin. Number 4. Camera tricks. What really separates the 6a and the photo department are the incredible tools available to manipulate your pictures the way you want. Starting with Night Sight, which is the Pixel's super strength night camera mode that uses fancy tricks with its AI to enhance dark photos no matter the situation. Next, we have Real Tone, which works automatically to improve the contrast and balance of your photos to fit according to any skin tone and make the subject look even better. This even works with multiple subjects and makes taking pictures an absolute pleasure, since everyone ends up looking good. Finally, we have the ever-so-popular Magic Eraser, which is Google's exclusive software that allows users to eliminate any objects in a picture. However, it's worth noting that the A53 has Samsung's Object Eraser tool that functions in much the same way. But with the Pixel 6a, this can work to even change the color of the object and make it less distracting. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot more to uncover when it comes to all the neat little tricks in this phone. Number 3. Battery. The 6a boasts a 4,410 mAh battery. While this is slightly smaller than the Pixel 6's 4,600 mAh battery, it should still offer the same battery life of around 8 hours of constant heavy use. In fact, in consumer drain tests, it even outlasts the 5,000 mAh battery of the Galaxy A53 by 15%. When it comes to charging the phone, the 6a is a bit disappointing, but not terrible. It's only rated for 18-watt fast charging, which is slower than the Pixel 6's 21 watts and the Galaxy A53's 25 watts. In practical terms, this means that an empty to full charge cycle will take about 2 hours for the 6a, compared to an hour 45 and an hour and a half for the Pixel 6 and A53 respectively. Is it slower? Yes. But it's not enough that it would sway our buying decision, but let us know what you think in the comments. Also, the 6a unfortunately lacks wireless charging of any kind. Again, disappointing, but the A53 also lacks this feature, so we'll have to have this one a tie. Number 2. Software. Android 12 is a really impressive update as seen from all the test drives with the product. It works efficiently, responds quickly, and feels much more customizable than previous versions of Android. Google uses something called Material You, which further increases customizability by letting you tweak things like whether you want your theme to match the color of your wallpaper, and even the color of your fonts. Especially since the 6a comes with Android 12, there's an absence of bloatware, allowing more space for you to use your memory for better things, giving an even better experience with this version of Android. With software updates confirmed to be supported on the 6A for the next 3 years, it's worth buying the 6A as soon as possible to get the most out of its software capabilities. Number 1. Screen. Samsung spoiled us. We've come to expect amazing displays from even inexpensive phones, and the 6A falls short in a couple of ways. The screen quality is a big step down from the Pixel 6 or other phones at this price point, offering only an OLED display with a refresh rate of only 60 Hz. These shortcomings are very noticeable when compared to the likes of the A53, which sports a Super AMOLED with 120 Hz refresh rate. But arguably, the biggest failure of the 6A display is the decision to use Gorilla Glass 3 to protect it. This only gives it about 3% of the level of protection compared to Victus Glass on the Pixel 6. Even the Gorilla Glass 5 on the Galaxy A53 offers 8 times the protection. The cost to repair a screen could almost completely negate the $150 savings by choosing the 6A over the Pixel 6. In our books, this is the biggest L for the Pixel 6A, and makes it tough to recommend for most people. So, do you think you're going to buy the Pixel 6A? What part about it makes you want to buy it? Or what put you off from buying it? Do tell us in the comments. If you like this video, you'd also like these other videos. And if you've already seen them, then be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our future tech videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.